Hello guys, and welcome to another Roflog. I'm trying to put them out every Thursday, so you can at least have something, I won't say look forward to, because there's nothing really special about the Roflogs, but they're designed to obviously keep you up to date with what's happening with the show and with us. But what I thought today, well, firstly I'll give you a quick update on how we're doing. We finished the first script. It's been given to the actors to record, which is great. We've also sat down, Nate and I, last week, and we worked out the entire story arc for 1.5, and it is looking to be really, really exciting. We've got a grim new bad guy. That is really horrible. We've got another quest for Colin and the team to go on. We've got Gundolf and his role-playing club. And all sorts of things. So yeah, we're really, really looking forward to starting. And as I say, as soon as the Patreon money drops on February the 1st, which is next week, we will start officially animating. So I'm doing all the pre-production now, building characters. I think you can probably see little thumbnails behind me of me doing all the new characters in this new style that we're doing, which it was really nice to see your feedback. I know one or two of you sort of said, oh, we like the old stuff. And I know whenever you sort of relaunch something, you always get some people, which quite rightly, you know, they say, well, I actually fell in love with this old style. And fair enough, you know, I understand why, but I guess the reason I wanted to change it was because I first designed them when I didn't know how to use Adobe Illustrator or how to draw. And the problem is sort of like looking at them every day and working with them and just thinking, oh, this is so rubbish. And I guess like my integrity and need as an artist, just I needed to be able to work with something that I'm sort of like remotely proud of. So yeah, they're still pretty simple, but I think they look a lot better. So what I wanted to do today was just to tell you a bit about myself. I have no idea if you want to stick around and watch this, but so many of you are supporting me and my work and our team financially. I thought it'd be good to just let you know a bit about me and who you are supporting, essentially. So I took a bit of a weird road to end up doing Roth. As you see, the video title is From Real Fighting to Realms of Fighting. And when I graduated from university, I actually did like TV and film at a college in London. And I sort of took a weird step of joining the army, and I became a paratrooper, which is a fairly elite soldier in the British Army. You've got to do like lots of selection tests and stuff, and yeah, it was pretty tough to get into that. And I never thought, because I was at school, I was always quite wimpy. Like whenever we played rugby, I would just walk around the field thinking about Star Wars instead of actually taking part. So I don't quite know how I ended up in like one of the sort of more elite units in the British Army. But I got through and passed the selection test, and I got in, and I went to Iraq as a soldier. And it was actually a really, really quiet time. It didn't end up doing too much at all. But what I did do when I was there, I kept like a little camera in my pocket, and I made a documentary about what it was like to be a soldier serving in Iraq. And it was just for me and my friends, we could sort of remember our time there. But the BBC ended up seeing it, and they loved it, and they showed it one weekend in September 2006 or 7, I think 2007, and it was really good, you know, just to have a documentary, you know, that I'd made on TV. And you see, you know, with Realms of Fighting as well, that documentary, even sort of mockumentary type stuff, is really my passion, and indeed that's what I actually teach now. So after I came back from Iraq, you know, I had no desire to sort of go into TV or film or animation or anything like that. I wanted to be a soldier and eventually, you know, possibly try and join the Special Forces, but I injured my knee in a parachute jump, and it was really bad. Like I sort of had the choice to either transfer to another unit, which wasn't the parachute regiment, or to leave the army. And for me, you know, for me it was like very much paratroopers or nothing, so I decided to leave. And it was hard to sort of mope around a little bit. I went to a physiotherapist who got my knee sort of back to shape and stuff, and I was able to play football and stuff. And then I got a job working in Afghanistan as a video journalist for 3 years, and it was really fun. I had some great experiences. We had a very small team, and we, you know, sort of became like brothers and sisters. It was a real family, and our sort of jobs were to film the good stuff and the bad stuff. So we would film you know, like a well being built or a school being built, and stuff that the news sort of throughout the world don't report on because it's not like cool enough, but actually stuff that's actually really helping the people. And we'd also do the military operations. So because I was a former soldier, I did one or two of them as well. And yeah, I remember it was funny actually. My first ever time that I got shot at wasn't when I was a paratrooper, it was when I was a cameraman. I'll play you the clip now, actually. It's on you. I've ripped it off YouTube because it's quite an old clip, so forgive the quality. But this was me sort of doing a news report and about the first ever mission I was on, and this is when we first get shot at. So here it is now.
The Estonian soldiers are quick to react and begin to return fire.
So as you see, the enemy has engaged us down the road. We're returning fire and attempting to move up towards them.
So yeah, you see some of those sound effects, they were pretty close, those bullets, and I was just like, oh, it was pretty scary. And yeah, so I lived there for 3 years, and it was really, you know, there were some real ups and real downs, and I got to do stuff, you know, like flying in helicopters, going to rescue people that had been shot and wounded and stuff, and blown up, and yeah, it was a really, really special time of my life, and I think it, in many ways, sort of helped to form the person that I am now, and it sure taught me a lot about how important things are in life. You know, it can be so easy in this culture to moan or to complain about stuff not working out for us. I mean, even last year, you know, when Rof didn't take off and I was, you know, quite sad about it, I just had to remind myself, you know, like, there are people in certain parts of the world, you know, like Syria right now and stuff, and they're just like, their lives are so much worse than ours. You know, even stuff that we consider just like basic is an absolute fortune and supreme luxury to them. So 3 years in Afghanistan was a really good reminder to me of that. And you know, I came back home, and you know, a lot of people that I know that came back, it was more sort of soldiers, I guess, and journalists, but a lot of people would sort of have post-traumatic stuff and suffer in some ways, and it's weird, I never really had any of that. Like sometimes, I remember one of the helicopter rides back, I had like a dead body at my feet and his blood was oozing onto my boots and stuff, but I was never really affected like several people I know were. I mean, I don't know whether that's because I have faith. Obviously, I mentioned earlier I'm the pastor of a church in my spare time, and you know, I've got a lot of faith in God. I don't know whether it's that or whether it's something else. I mean, to be fair, I think my other colleagues that have now moved on from Afghanistan as well, that were on the video journalist team, I don't think any of them have suffered either. But it was a really interesting experience, and it just gave me this desire to like tell stories, and you know, whether it's documentary film or other form. And when I came back and I got married and I've got 2 little kids now, Johnny, can you come and say hello? Johnny, come here. I'm going to get my youngest son to come and say hello. The other one's at school, so he's still at home now. Come and say hello. So yeah, I sort of realised that going to war zones wasn't really conducive to a family lifestyle anymore. So I can't see you. Come, let me lift you in. You say hello.
Hello.
So this is to the people that like Colin Collinson. Do you like Colin?
Yeah.
And who does Colin like to fight?
I don't know.
You don't know. He likes to fight dragons, doesn't he? Yeah. Okay. So so having a family lifestyle wasn't really conducive to. Going to war zones wasn't really conducive to a family lifestyle. So I sort of started looking at doing like fiction type stuff, and the first ever short film I made. I'm almost too embarrassed to say this, but if you type in Ranger short film onto YouTube, like you'll find it. It's a half-an-hour thing that sort of gently ripped off a Tolkien story about Beren and Luthien. It's got my brother Jared, who plays Colin and Mark Best. So my brother's a really good actor, and he plays Collinson and Mark Best. He's actually recently been in the UK Vodafone advert. So I'll put a screenshot up now. But if you have seen those adverts, okay, when you see that, you'll think, right, be aware that is Colin Collinson right there in the Vodafone adverts. So yeah, he plays the lead in this Ranger film, and it was it's a bit ropey, and you know, it's have a look at your own peril. But it was sort of just, you know, I just sort of like, wow, I love telling stories and doing stuff. And then I sort of got into animation using Adobe After Effects, and in 2014 I took part in the Sci-Fi 48-hour film challenge, Sci-Fi London 48-hour film challenge, and it's quite a fairly prestigious competition. Gareth Edwards, who did Godzilla and obviously did Rogue One, he won it in 2008, which launched his career. So I wanted to try and be like the first animation to ever win it, because no animation's ever won it before. So I made this film called The March with Jared again, who did the voice, and my friend Rob, who does the wonderful 3D backgrounds for Roth. He helped out with the artwork, and we won, and it was really, really cool. And Warwick Davis was one of the judges on the panel, who sort of chose the winner, and that's how we got him to be Toothis in season 1. We just said, is there any way? And he was so kind. He didn't charge us. He just said, yeah, I'll do this for you out of the goodness of my heart. So it was really, really nice. And and I just got the animation bug. Like, I hold my hands up. I'm not the best animator in the world at all. There are many people that are a lot better than me. I'm sort of limited to only really using After Effects, which in itself is quite limited, because there's so many other, I guess, arguably better pieces of software. But what I like about After Effects is you can turn around stuff quite quickly. So I could do like the 2-minute season 2 announcement that we did with Colin last month. It wasn't even last month, it was this month. Sorry, I'm tired. So that took about 6 hours to do. I got up at 5 on a Saturday morning and just powered it out, and then got it out that afternoon. So it'd be a lot harder with any other animation software to like crank out that amount of content in such a quick time. So that's one of the benefits for After Effects. And guys, also, if you want, because some of you have sort of expressed an interest in tutorials about how to do like Roth type art and animation, I don't know if there's enough of a desire for it to like warrant me doing it, but if there is, if you want to see that, I'd be happy to do it. Just put a comment below saying, I'd love to have a tutorial, and I will do it. I will make some about how to, it's not like this is a secret, like a top secret way. It's really simple. And I think anybody that's used After Effects and Illustrator for more than 3 months would probably know how to do this. But I'm happy to show you, just to show you that how, if you've got the Adobe Creative Suite, how you can make your own like Roth type animations. I'm completely happy to do that. So my life's been a sort of a bit of a weird one, going from war from Iraq and then Afghanistan to now like being a teacher, because I lecture at Ravensbourne College in London, which is like a sort of art type place. It does like TV and film and fashion and photography and animation. It does really cool stuff, and I teach sort of documentary production there, which is really fun, and I love it. I really, really love it, and it's wonderful because I do 3 days a week there, and then I can do 2 days a week Roth work now that you're funding it, for as long as you want to fund it, and any other bits. So it is good. But I'm so grateful for all of you, especially the ones that are supporting us on Patreon. You're making this happen. Now let me show you. You might have seen them in the thumbnails, but I'll show you now. I'll put it up on the screen properly now. Some of the new art I've been doing this week. We have remade a crowd favourite, The Man Who Knocks. Of course, we cannot have even a 1.5 season without him being in it. So be assured, he will be in episode 1. And also, good old Colin Killer 72. He is back. But to what capacity remains to be seen. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching me ramble on, and I hope you know a bit more about me and you understand the crazy guy that you're supporting. But it's been a heck of a ride so far, and I'm so grateful that I have you guys, loving Roth and supporting Roth. And again, if you haven't supported, feel free to head over to our Patreon now. It's www.patreon.com/Realms of Fighting. Just because, as I said before, I say it again, I'm slowly cutting down the $50 rewards. I had 5 slots. One person dropped out last week. I put it down to 4 because my sort of logic is that if they all left at the same time, we'd be $200 short, and we'd be in big trouble, because especially if we've already started making the episode. So every time somebody drops out of the 50, I'm going to cut the slot down, and I'm probably just going to leave it as a 150 slot, just for like a special person if they want to do it, like for a month or whatever, just so they can have the reward. But it means that also, if it's only one slot and that person leaves, then it's not a huge hit to our overall sort of monthly campaign. But everything's going well. We're going to be, as I say, on February the 1st, when the Patreon money comes in, that's when we officially start the first episode of 1.5, and we would be looking, Jonathan, shush, when we'd be looking to launch it in March at some point. I can't say exactly when in March because it's going to depend on getting the actors to get the stuff done and the animation to get the stuff done. But yeah, it's a pretty fun episode that kicks off the narrative. And as I say, guys, we've got a great story for you. So I can't wait to share it with you. Thank you again for the love and support. If you still haven't pledged on Patreon, go over, chuck us a couple of dollars if you fancy it. If not, completely up to you. It's all good. And thank you. And let's see where we go. So I'll come back with another Roflog next week with some locations or something possibly. But thank you again, guys. And I hope you have a lovely weekend.